Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Keys Boxing Gym Talk. I'm your host, K-Rob216. Thank you guys for tuning in today, man. Quick thing that I want to talk about, quick topic. Um, Saturday, we seen, in the prelims or in between fights, we seen that Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo were talking about their negotiating a super fight, mega fight for Teofimo's 140-pound championship, the lineal 140-pound WBO championship of the world. But before we get into that, though, I want you guys to like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Tio, I've been very critical of you in the past. Your personality I really can't get with because I can see all through you. I can see through the BS and stuff like that. But, man, let's not play games with this negotiations, man. Let's not play games with this negotiation. You've done this in the past. You call out a fighter just to get the attention on you so you can be the center of attention. I think you did that with Boots Ennis. Said you wanted Boots Ennis. Said you wanted Terrence Crawford. My thing with that is like, if a real hardcore boxing fan, they know that Boots Ennis didn't run from that fight. They know that Terrence Crawford didn't run from that fight. They had more meaningful fights on the line. With Boots Ennis, yeah, you said you called him out, but I think he had a more meaningful fight that was more, important to his legacy when he unified with Stanionis. That was for the IBF belt. That was for the WBA belt. That was for the ring strap. That was for the lineal title. And I think you knew that, and you knew that he wasn't going to take that fight. He was going to, he was going to take that fight. I think you knew that. Terrence Crawford, we already knew what he was on already when you were calling him out. He wanted to fight with Canelo Alvarez. He believed that that fight was going to come to fruition. He had time. He wanted to give his time, his body, and stuff like that to build up to 168 pounds. As we said, Crawford said that he took like 6 months to train for that fight for 6 months. So I think you knew that. This fight with Shakur Stevenson, man, this you could prove all the doubters wrong if you beat him. You are for sure first ballot Hall of Famer. You're already a 2-division lineal champion. You beat Lomachenko. He was the #1 pound-for-pound fighter at the time. That was great. And, after that, you lost to Kambosos. I think you took him lightly or whatever. But, you came back. You came back with 2 wins or whatever. One of them against Sandor Martin. Didn't look all that good. The fight could have went either way. But then, you fought Josh Taylor. You beat him for the lineal 140-pound title, man. So that would look good on your resume if you can defeat Shakur Stevenson. But we need you to not play no games and make this fight happen. Both of y'all are now promotional free agents now. You're no longer with Top Rank, from my understanding. Shakur Stevenson, he had that one fight deal with Eddie Hearn or whatever, but he's a free agent now. And we hear that the fight that PBC is going to be promoting this fight or going to be arranging this fight is going to be on pay-per-view. There's no excuses this time. There's no promoter in this. There's none of that. So TL, let us, just want to see you fight somebody good, man. Shakur Stevenson, even though we know he's been trying to fight the best, some people say he has some lackluster performances and stuff like that or whatnot, but he can't make a fighter fight when they can't do nothing with his defensive mind. He did fight Josh Padley. That's not his fault. People tried to blame him for that, but, Kid Austin pulled out of the fight a couple of days before the fight, so what can you do? His last fight, though, he looked at very good against an undefeated Mexican, hard-charging Mexican, and he wanted to show the world that he can trade instead of sitting there running. Teofimo, you looked at very good in your last fight. Out of that whole little fight that happened, it was 3 fights. I think Ryan Garcia lost that night. Devin Haney, he didn't look that good against Jose Ramirez. People said that he ran the whole fight. It's like I'm scared to fight. You would have won the first one to fight on the card, and you impressed the hell out of me. You fought Arnold Barbosa, undefeated, man. It was a good fight, man, compared to the previous fights that you had. After you fought Josh Taylor, you had a fight with Jermaine Ortiz, and you didn't look that good, and it makes me think that, you have a problem with fighters that have footwork and stuff like that. We've seen that with Sandor Martin, too. Footwork, you don't like a person that's tricky and stuff like that give you problems. We've seen that in the past. That's why I say with these negotiations, please don't play games, because we know Shakur Stevenson is the master of his footwork, the master of range, the master of distance and still landing his shots and stuff like that. You know that. So I'm saying this to say this, man. I really hope this fight happens, but I'm not holding my breath. And I just hope you don't get the fans their hopes up. I hope you don't get their hopes up either. I just hope you don't, man. You know, that would be a pity if that fight doesn't happen, and then the whole world will see for what you really are, man. And I don't want to see that. I honestly think that if you retire today, it's possible that you can be into the Hall of Fame. I don't know about first ballot, but like I said, you beat two fighters that were on the pound for pound list that were reigning lineal champions and stuff. So about with Shakur Stevenson and you have an advantage over here in size, you know, that would be great on your resume. That's first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. I don't know if you can beat Shakur Stevenson, but I would like to see it. I would like to see if you got the balls to go in there and make that fight happen without pulling out or no negotiations or falling through or nothing like that. But something tells me that's what's going to happen. The fight's going to fall through. But I hope not. I hope it doesn't fall through and then you fight some other little mandatory that nobody really knows about that doesn't deserve to fight you. When Shakur Stevenson, you know, he's on the pound for pound list, you know, and according to some websites and stuff like that, you know, a couple websites might have you on the pound for pound list. So let this super fight happen, man. Let this super fight happen. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. So that's my time, y'all. I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. I got some things to do. I will be with you guys in the next few days. I maybe drop a video today. It's unpredictable with me. I don't know. But I just want you guys to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, please, man. And thank you guys for tuning in. And I'll see you until then.